Alrighty, so you're moving to Cleveland, Ohio, and Cleveland Heights is one of the suburbs that you're considering moving to. And you've heard all the great things about Cleveland Heights, the community, the people, maybe even watched our video about the top 5 reasons as to why people choose to move to Cleveland Heights. But still, you're not quite sold, and you want to hear about why people don't like Cleveland Heights and maybe what deters them from moving there in the first place. Well, in this video, we're going to cover the pros and cons to living in Cleveland Heights and why people like it and maybe why people don't like it so much or choose not to live there. So stick around and we're going to get into the ins and outs of Cleveland Heights and give you all the information that you need to make the best decision possible. I'm Jordan Shoger, local real estate agent and Cleveland Heights resident. And if you find the videos that we make helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that little bell notification so you get alerted anytime that we drop new content. And as always, check the description below and hit us up. Text us, call us, shoot us an email if we can help you get your home sold for top dollar, or if we can orchestrate a smooth move into the Cleveland area. We got you covered on both. So let's stop wasting time and get into everything you need to know, the pros and cons of Cleveland Heights. So let's get into the pros. So pro number 1 and why people like Cleveland Heights has to do with the location. So once you get into Cleveland Heights, there are countless numbers of restaurants, bars, entertainment. There's museums that are not too far away. So once you actually get into Cleveland Heights, there's a lot of things to do here in the community and just on the outside or outskirts of the community. And so, like I said, whether you're a foodie and you're looking for different restaurants, there's a ton right here in Cleveland Heights, or you can venture just down Murray Hill into Little Italy, where there are handfuls of restaurants, Italian places over there that you can try out. And then on top of that, the museum scene. If you're into, the Cleveland Museum of Art, which is a nationally ranked museum, that is a quick, depending on where you are in Cleveland Heights, that's a quick 10 to 15 minute drive from the Heights to get down to the museum. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if you're a music person or you want to go check out the hall, that's a quick 15, 20 minute drive, depending on where you're at in Cleveland Heights. And so, once you get into Cleveland Heights, there's a ton to do right here in our own community, and then also on the outskirts and some of the surrounding areas that really don't take very long to get to. So pro number 1 is definitely the location and what you're close to once you get here into the Heights. All right, pro number two is why people like Cleveland Heights is definitely the culture and diversity here in the area. And so, Cleveland Heights consists of just under about 45,000 people, and that consists of about 49% white, about 40% black and African American, then also about 5% Asian. And so there's a ton of different cultures and peoples and ethnicities that have all come together, and they live right here in Cleveland Heights together. And so it's very attractive to people for that reason there. There's so many different people from all different walks of life, which build the community into this unique place that's really unlike anywhere else in the Cleveland area. And so, and then on top of that, you look at the homes. And so if you're thinking about buying a home in the area, the homes are just as diverse and filled with character as the people are. The average age of a home here in Cleveland Heights is just under 90 years old. So older homes with character on these beautiful kind of tree-lined streets is what you're going to find once you pull into the Heights. You're going to find colonials, center hall colonials, Tudor homes, stucco homes, a few bungalows mixed in, even some ranches if you're looking in the Forest Hills area. And so there's truly something for everyone here in Cleveland Heights, and it's built up of so many unique and great people. And that's why so many folks choose to come and live here, because of the culture and the diversity here in the area. And with all that culture and diversity comes, unique venues and restaurants and breweries and all those type of things. And so if you're into, let's say, concerts, you can always go to Kane Park or the Grog Shop. There's a lot of concerts going on in the summer outside over at Kane Park. They also have an arts festival every year. As I mentioned earlier, Little Italy is not too far away. You can walk there in some areas of Cleveland Heights. If not, it's a quick drive. There's breweries that are kind of spread throughout Cleveland Heights that you can go to. You can go to, one of the best barber shops in town is called Quintana's, and they've got a speakeasy on the 3rd floor or the second floor of this old house that they renovated and turned into a barber shop. And so, my point being is there's so many cool, unique spots that could be attractive to a lot of different people. And the community is truly built up of different people from different walks of life that have all come together and they choose to live in one area. So that's pro number 2, is definitely the culture and diversity of the community here in Cleveland Heights. And finally, pro number 3 is to why people like Cleveland Heights is the wide range of educational options. So no matter what your preference is, whether you're looking for public, private, middle school, elementary school, high school, college, living here in Cleveland Heights gives you access to so many different options from an educational standpoint. So the Cleveland Heights University Heights City Schools consists of 7 elementary schools, there's 2 middle schools, and then Cleveland Heights High School is the main high school, that main public high school here in Cleveland Heights. But on top of that, I mean, you've got, if you're looking for a private school, you've got St. Ignatius, St. Ed's, Hawken, Laurel, Hathaway Brown, all these, Beaumont, Roughing Montessori, all these different options for some for middle school and then some for high school as well. And so it's really, there's no shortage of great educational options depending on what you're looking for. And then on top of that, there's even colleges and universities that are not far at all from Cleveland Heights. This consists of Notre Dame College, Case Western Reserve University, John Carroll, which is over in University Heights, which is just one town over. Cleveland State is right downtown Cleveland. Baldwin Wallace is over on the west side, the other side of the city. And so a lot of different options for schooling if you're looking for it for your kids or for yourself, but also with all those universities and schools comes a lot of job opportunities. And so if you're moving to the area and maybe you're a teacher or an educator, professor, there are some options close by to Cleveland Heights that you might want to consider looking at. So that's pro number 3, is the wide range of educational options for people who live here in Cleveland Heights. All right, let's get into the bad stuff. Well, I don't even want to call it bad. Let's just get into some of the less desirable reasons why somebody would want to move to Cleveland Heights and what might even deter them from moving here in the first place. And the first one is property taxes. And so if you've been doing research on the area, I'm sure you've seen some information about property taxes being sky high in Cleveland Heights. They definitely rank in the higher tier compared to some of the other suburbs in the greater Cleveland area. Cleveland Heights, Shaker Heights is even a little bit higher than Cleveland Heights. But what you can expect to pay for property taxes usually hovers around that 3.5, 3.6, 3.7% of the value of your home you'll be paying in property taxes. And so if you are moving into this area, it's super important to communicate with your real estate agent and make sure they're giving you the accurate numbers on what you can expect to pay for property taxes and kind of how that process works and how often those values are getting reassessed, because you may buy a home and property taxes are at one value, but you get reassessed for the new purchase price of your home and they may change. And so just something to keep in mind. And like I said, a good real estate agent like myself should be able to walk you through what to expect and how all that works so you can plan accordingly and budget that into your house hunting process. So that's con number 1 is the higher property taxes here in Cleveland Heights. Con number 2 is Cleveland Heights is not very close to a highway. So if you're moving here into Cleveland Heights and maybe you need to commute for your job and maybe you're going, to Twinsburg, or you've got to travel over to the west side, it's going to take you about 15 to 20 minutes maybe to get to a highway. Or it depends on where you're living in Cleveland Heights, but about 15 to 20 minutes just to get to a highway. And so some people, they need easier highway access, so they need to be closer to the highway for whatever reason. But just know that in Cleveland Heights, it does take a little while to get to a highway. But from there, it's pretty easy to get wherever you need to go. And then lastly, number 3, and if you know the Cleveland area, this may come as a kind of a no-brainer for you, but the winter weather, you definitely feel the lake effect. Especially in the winter. So the winters are a little bit colder. We do get a good amount of snow in the wintertime. In some years, it seems like that it lasts forever. But just be prepared for that, especially if you're maybe moving from Florida or California or something like that. Make sure that you're aware of the climate here. So when you're planning your move, you kind of have that in mind. But the temperatures will be a little bit colder. Like I said, we're going to get a little bit more snow being so close to Lake Erie. Here in Cleveland Heights, we do feel a good bit of that. So that's con number 3 is the weather, especially in the wintertime, and that lake effect hitting us pretty hard. So those are my pros and cons of living in Cleveland Heights, but overall, it's a phenomenal area. And if you choose to move here, I guarantee that you're making the right decision. And as always, if there's anything that we can do to help you out, either get your home sold for top dollar or help orchestrate a smooth move into the Cleveland area, whether it's Cleveland Heights, University Heights, Shaker Heights, or maybe you're even interested in some things over on the west side, we are happy to make it happen for you. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys in the next video.